Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Chak Kadash. The blessings to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, man. You Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman. This week's topic is going to be entitled, This is for the Few. Alright, this is for the few. There's a title, it was a working title that the Spirit just put in my head. Alright, pretty much going into the elect. But I was also thinking, on my way to the gym, I had popped in a show from Apostle Elder Gabar, and, you know, he was speaking on that, like how the 2/3, you know, namely, is going to start with those that know that they're Israelites and choose rather, alright, wickedness, you know, and you got guys out there that are very popular amongst these camps that are leaders, all right, and I understand that the scriptures speak about fame. Hey, even our apostles are famous, right? But there's a difference between obtaining faith through trying to glorify the Lord and obtaining fame and seeking your own glory. And a lot of those guys, I'll name like Chief Priest Alazar Ben Loya or Gorilla Hebrew. You know, apostles believe he's Jason coming back. You have Bishop Nathaniel of the IUIC, all right? Yohana, you don't see him as much, okay? But, you know, a lot of those guys, it's mainly like, you know, they're the centerfold, and, you know, they kind of have Yahweh Shah taking the back seat. You know, in fact, this dude, I don't know if he still teaches it, but I know it was something he was saying. Alazar Ben Loy was saying, you know, Yahweh Shah shouldn't be worshipped, which that's clearly contradicting the book of Philippians. You know, when every knee shall bow to the Lord. You know, that's really blasphemous right there, man. You know, talk about you ain't gonna bow to the Lord. He's just your big brother. You got to go directly to Yahweh, which is completely out of order, man. All right, the Most High said the head of the woman is the man, and the head of the man is Yahweh Shai. All right, not Yahweh. Yahweh Shai's head is Yahweh. All right, so Yahweh tells us, look, man, you got to go through my son. That was an order given from the Lord. All right, in the scriptures, you have to go through my son. He's the mediator. Deal with him. You know, just like, you know, you go to a, you know, if you had a problem and let's say you were in fucking McDonald's, just for lack of better terms, you're in McDonald's, all right, and somebody, you know, fucked up your order, you're not going to go to the head founder, CEO of McDonald's to complain about your issue, you know? He's way above what the hell you got going on, you see? So they set up mediators, you know, to delegate the company all the way down to make sure your order is right. So it's the same thing, man. You got to go through a process, man, and that process is praying to the Lord Yahweh Shah and worshiping him. All right. Now, going back to the topic, that this thing is not for a large audience. This truth is not the elect is not going to be some big spectacular situation like, you know, with the Christian church, if you will. All right. The elect is going to be a small sanctuary. Now, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, and he answered me, saying, the Most High had made this world for many. So the present world, you know, there's a bunch of souls. There's a bunch of souls and spirits in this world that are living it up, you know, living their best life, so to speak. All right, so the Lord really have a bunch of people, you know, from different rulerships that they point to rule, okay? So this world is for many. It says, but the world to come is for few. First of all, the world to come is, in terms of the kingdom and everlasting rulership, all right, that's pertaining to the nation of Israel, okay? The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and that's it. All right? Yes, you're going to have the other nations in the kingdom, and after a period of 1,000 years, they're going to live again, okay, by getting their lands back, okay? But, like, being on our level, that's a hell no, you know? Like, you know how you got certain jakes in this society? They get up far up in the society above Edomites, even though Edomites are in rulership. You see how you see that on this side? You're not going to see that in the kingdom. You're not going to have no heathen, all right, work his way up and be more richer than the Israelite. That shit ain't going to happen in our kingdom. Get the fuck out of here with that. You know? It says, I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras. All right. As when thou takest the earth, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold there whereof earthen vessels are made. Right. So it's very common to see dirt along the street. You know, dirt is not something precious. Mud. You know, you look at I'm looking at the highway right now. I'm looking at the side of it. I see dirt right there. It's very common, you know, and value is definitely tied to supply, right? Supply and demand. So there's no high demand for fucking earthen mold and, you know, dirt. It says when earthen vessels are made, like pottery and shit, but little dust that gold cometh of, right? So it's very hard to get gold, you know, and when you see gold in its rawest form, it's hard to even know it's gold. So it's very hard to find, you know. You have to purify it, and that is just like the elect of the nation of Israel. The elect could be walking amongst the mold. You don't really know that's the elect, but guess what? Now you got to put it under the fire, and that's coming in the truth, being baptized in Yahweh Shah, all right, being cleansed, and you're like, holy shit, that person was gold. You know, you look at ourselves previous to coming in the truth, we look like people in the world. You know, we carried ourselves like people in the world, you know, but when you come in this truth, everything changes. You know, it starts to purify you. There's a purification process happening, see? Reading on, it says, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so, is the course of this present world, right? So exactly, all right, just like we read in the book of Sirach, the 2nd chapter, all right, acceptable men are tried in the furnace of adversity, like gold, you know. There's so many different similitudes in the scriptures telling you that, you know, a man of the Lord is likened unto a precious metal, and the way a precious metal is made purified is through heat, which is indicative of the trials and the tribulation you go through, okay? But look, not everything you apply heat to, you know, it get purified. There's certain things that get burned to chaff. Some burn slower than others, like the apostle said, but there's certain things that just turn to ash. You see? Precious metals is one of those things that actually get better from the heat, and that's what we're hoping to be. Okay, and again, that's few and far between. When was the last time you just walked around and saw gold? You know, in its purest form. Let alone, you know, it's one thing to spot gold, you know, in its raw form. It's very hard to even notice it's gold. But seeing it purified, come on, that's extremely rare, man. So this idea that, you know, every camp is going to be on one page, that right there contradict with the scriptures, man. And that's how come we can't get upset when people don't get it. You know, sometimes, you know, we out there speaking, we don't, fuck, y'all don't see this. But truly, they're not meant to see it, you know, pursuant to the book of Isaiah, because if they seen it, then scriptures couldn't be fulfilled. All right? These people out here in the world, they're not meant to see it, you know, because the scriptures tell you that this thing is going to catch them like a thief in the night, not the hopeful elect, because we're going to be prepared. But the majority of people are going to be off guard, so they have to be blinded. Why? To fulfill these prophecies. It says, reading on, there be many created. Yeah, there's like 8 billion now, 9 billion. The population just keeps growing. Many created, but few shall be saved. So, few. The Lord is only dealing with a few, man. You see? But when you jump down to verse 61, 2nd Ezra 8 and 61, it reiterates. It says, and therefore is my judgment now at hand. These things have I showed unto all men. Slakia, these things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee. See? So even the understanding, the prophecies, the breakdowns, what the hell is truly going on, okay? It's always going to be shown unto a few. Yahweh Shai walked this earth and spoke in parables, because he told the disciples, okay? To them it was not given. So this true understanding and breakdown is only given to a few men. So when you see a bunch of camps out there teaching bullshit, all right, and have a bunch of people following them, guess what? They're just fulfilling a lot of the 2/3, because again, the false prophets have to gather. The false prophets are appointed to gather those that the Lord don't want. Okay, the elect, the deceived and the deceiver are His. They're all in the Most High's trick bag. You see? So reading on, it says, these things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not answered, has not showed me. So the exact date and time still remains a mystery. Okay, the exact date and time is still going to remain a mystery. So like, make sure this is okay. The exact date and time is still a mystery, but guess what? The Lord left signs. The Lord left signs and wonders in the world that's going to tell us, okay, you know, these signs, you know, now you know I'm here. Okay? There's a tradition here in America, you know, like if the gopher shows a shadow, there's a sign that type of winter we're going to have or whatever, you know, like signs, like, sort of like a bad analogy, man, but I can't think of any right now. But there's different signs out there that people give that there's a warning for something, right? So the Lord left together these prophecies, like, you know, earthquake in diverse places, wars and rumors of wars. Right now, most recently, we're talking about the situation with Ukraine. But there's always constant tension over there in the Middle East as well, okay? So it's these things, you see? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 4. Because we had mentioned that, you know, really the 2/3 starts with those that know that they're Israelites. You see? Because one thing is, you know, them niggas in the world, they gonna get it, but a lot of them are ignorant. Like, a lot of them don't know what the hell is going on, so they probably just gonna get a quick death, you know? But there's a lot of Israelites that know right from wrong, but choose rather to bow down to the ways of the so-called white man. Primarily, you got a lot of camps teaching that it's all right to get the RFID microchip, you see, which is the mark of the beast. You got camps legit teaching that oh, it's not, you know, we understand that the white man's technology and the chip, but that ain't the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is sin. So people like that just got to die first, all right? Because you're in Israel. You know the apostles out there teaching the truth, you know, and certain brothers are waking up to it that are in these other camps. So that shows you that the elect is scattered in amongst all these camps. Ezekiel 9:4, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city. Now, the city is talking about, first and foremost, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. All right? So go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry. Right, so that mark, that word there for mark is tawar, which means exempt from judgment. All right, what makes you exempt from judgment? It starts with first and foremost with knowing your nationality. All right, that's putting the flesh on you, knowing your nationality. All right, but then you got to give air, you got to breathe life into that body, right? You got to breathe life into that body, and to breathe life in that body is knowing the knowledge, wisdom, or understanding of these scriptures. Okay, so knowing your nationality is one thing. You putting flesh on that bone, that dry bone, but now you got to put air in it. You got to put a breath in it, all right, which is the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, because you got a bunch of people out there that know that they're Israelites, but do they truly have the knowledge, wisdom, understanding out there prophesying? All right, do they truly have the breath? St. John 6:63, that quickens you, that truly makes you alive? It says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And there's a bunch of abominable works being done in America, and you should be complaining, man. You shouldn't be wanting America to fucking continue, man. You know, if you won the lotto and you at ease in this kingdom, guess what? But the rest of your people are suffering. So why would you want this place to continue? You know, this place is filthy and it's abominable. And if left undestroyed, the so-called white man will destroy all flesh any goddamn way. See? That's why the scripture says for the elect's sake, these days are going to be shortened. It says, pardon me, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So that's the angels that's going to be bringing destruction upon 2/3 of the nation of Israel. It says, slow, utterly, old, and young. And the Most High, don't think like how men think and getting his feelings and shit, especially the angels. They're like, they just do. Recently, they had this woman that she got snatched up by an alligator out in Florida, and she was 85 years old. So she was an old lady. I guess the alligator was trying to go for the dog. All right? She went and tried to defend the dog, and the alligator just took her, 10-foot alligator, took her old ass, and that was the end of her, you see? And that was, the scriptures tell you that, the wild beast, spirits created for vengeance. So the Lord could judge your ass at 85, grimy style. So the Lord is going to slay old and young. It says, slay utterly old and young. Yeah, you got these young nigglets out there that's in the drill music, committing all kinds of 14 years old, killing people and shit, robbing people, carjackings. The Lord ain't going to show them no mercy, unless they repent. Okay? Most are going to jack their ass up. It says, both maids and little children. How come you don't hear these type of scriptures get brought up in the church? All you hear in the church is God is love and rainbows and pass out flowers and, if your enemy smites you, kiss him. The hell, they're not telling you the raw, unadulterated truth of how the Lord gets down. It says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. So that's what we trying to be. Just like how in the Passover situation where you had that mark at the time was the lamb's blood smeared on your door post, and Yahushua passed over and slayed every firstborn. Well, same thing now. We want the angels to pass over us that destruction, all right? Because we're going to be exempt, Lord willing, by having this knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You see? It says, and begin at my sanctuary. See? And begin at my sanctuary. So that's those that know what the hell is going on, that know that they're Israelites, you see, but choose rather to be demons. The Lord's going to start with them. Begin at my sanctuary. All right? Then they began at the ancient men, which were before the house. So they began at the ancient men. The men that should know better. All right? The men that should know better. And reading on up on it, when I said, let me get this actually. Let me get tears. Let me get this, because in the beginning verse it spoke about the men that sigh and cry. I'm gonna read Psalms 126:5. It says, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. So right now we're sowing in tears, we're sighing and crying for all the abomination. The scriptures tell you oppression maketh the wise man mad, right? So we're gonna be upset, we're gonna be pissed off, okay? At all the fuckery that goes on in America. But it says again, they that sow in tears, right, sighing and crying, shall reap in joy. And we're trying to reap the benefits of the kingdom of heaven. And that's the thing that the Lord promised. He said, if you endure to the end, okay, you shall get a crown of life. And that's what we're trying to obtain, all right? That eternal crown, which the Lord promised to them that endure, them that of his elect, which we're striving to be a part of. Okay? And that's how come we praying like the Lord just bring the hell upon this place, destroy this place, that way his kingdom and righteousness could be established, And the Lord just killed the wicked-ass 2/3 of our people. Okay, again, starting with the ancient and them that know that they're Israelites, wicked-ass niggas, all right, that choose pride rather than humility and truth, So, yeah, You know, you can't get wrapped up in the fact thinking everybody's gonna come in this thing. Hell, man, most recently, I've been teaching my woman's brother. You know, he's getting all into the Bible and he's asking me all these questions, but there's certain things he just can't get, and I don't beat myself over it. You know, even he understands. He's like, I just don't see it. I say, you know what, hey man, well, you know, if the Lord wants you to see it, one time I would, you know, kind of be different about it, but now I understand. I'm like, look, man, the Lord if you don't see it, the Lord may open his eyes down the road, or just might not open his eyes at all. You know, the Most High could bring people in this thing also just to judge them, man. Have you wake up knowing you're an Israelite, knowing the missiles are coming, knowing who the devil is, and just to have you chill for a little bit, then bring your ass back in the world. So that's scary, and that's how come we do these shows, to hope the Lord have mercy upon us. Okay, remain with the brotherhood, and try not to be niggas, man. You know, okay, we can't do it. We don't have any free will whatsoever. But praying that, you know, it's in the Most High's lot that we have his elect. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim Rachak, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.